Pastor Mandy, and we are so excited that you joined us for our second week of CWC Kids at Home. I have to give a huge shout out to some friends today that watched last week. AJ, we saw you joined us, and we're so happy that you joined us last week. Harmony from Bloomsburg, thank you so much for joining us. William and Stephen, we know you guys were working on those roadmaps. And finally, the Weber girls, we saw you guys worshiping and joining us last week. We're so happy you can join us in this way. So this week, Bryn and I are continuing our road trip planning. And I just happen to have my map that I'm looking at. So I am going to look at our map here.
Oh. Hey, Miss Mandy.
Hey, Bryn.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm looking at the map, and it looks a little confusing. There's so many signs, and I just don't know how to read it.
Well, it might be a little bit easier if you didn't have it upside down.
Oh, man, I can't believe I had that upside down. No wonder I couldn't read it. Okay, this makes more sense. So there's so many little signs. Do you know what these all mean?
I know what some of them mean, but you know what this makes me think of? What? Our story for today.
All right, so let's head over to our Bible story and see if we can figure this out. All right, so here we are at our Bible story station. And remember last week we were reading in the book of Exodus, and who is the person who got the 10 Commandments?
That was this guy right here, Moses.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, so Moses was allowed, the only person actually, to climb up the mountain to where God was waiting for him to share the commandments, or remember we called them rules last week. So there were people down below this mountain, so many of them, the Israelites, and they were waiting a long time for Moses. And he came down with the 10 Commandments. So last week, we actually talked about Commandment 1 and 2. And remember, we were putting God first. And so I hope you guys did a great job with that. How did you guys do with that?
Good. Very good.
That's so awesome. Great job. That's so good to hear. So the first two were, you shall have no other gods before me. So remember, there was a ton of stuff we could have done, but we chose to put God first. And you shall not make any idols. So God is the only one that we worship. So the next two come from the book of Exodus as well. Remember, it's chapter 20, and it is verses 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, here we go. You must not use the name of the Lord your God thoughtlessly. The Lord will punish anyone who is guilty and misuses his name. That's the first one. Remember to keep the Sabbath as a holy day. You may work and get everything done during 6 days each week, but on the seventh day is a day of rest to honor the Lord your God. So let's talk about what that means. So we have to remember not to misuse the name of the Lord. So what's an example of that, Bryn?
Saying OMG.
Oh, does anybody ever use that word, that term, OMG? Sometimes we text that, huh? Oh my, that's not good. And really the reason why we do that is because God is so mighty and deserves our worship and our praise. And we really need to take his name seriously. So God asks us to do that. The second one, or the one we talked about today, is to remember to keep the Sabbath day holy. So, how do we do that?
So, we're super busy throughout the week, but it's always good to take time on a Sunday to just spend some time with your family and just relax. Because even God, after he spent 6 days creating the world, took a day of rest.
That's such a good point. I love that because God worked so hard creating animals and trees and oceans that even God rested. So do you think you should rest? Yeah, that would be awesome. So think about ways you can rest. Think about the way we use that OMG word, and think about honoring God by not misusing his name. So I think we need to go over our memory verse. Bryn, you ready?
Yep.
We're gonna trek on over. Here we go. Okay, so we've worked on our memory verse all last week. Do you guys think you can do it with us?
I think they can.
Oh, I believe they can. It's super easy, and it's such a good one to remember. The verse comes from the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 27. Are you ready? Here we go. Love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your strength, and with all of your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Luke 10:27. You guys did so awesome. And if you don't have a neighbor with you, make sure you find a parent to do it with, a grandparent or someone in the house so you guys can practice. Okay, so we have an awesome activity for you to take home. This is our Take It Home, and you can remember, we're doing this on Sunday in Kids Way as well. So this is all about making a sign. We talked about the signs on the map earlier that are just sometimes hard to read. And what kind of colors are signs in, Bryn?
Signs can be green or yellow or red, or you can make your own sign in a new color.
Oh, that would be super awesome. So think about the signs when you're driving down the road, and it be a reminder that you worship God. So, Bryn, let's see your best art. And you guys, don't worry. If you don't have paint with you, you can use crayons, you can use markers, whatever you have around the house to make your own sign. And you can put this on your fridge. You can put this in your room to help you to stop and remember that you're worshiping God when you obey Him. So when we don't misuse His name, when we keep our Sabbath day holy, when we rest like He rested, that is all like worshiping God. And so it doesn't have to be just in song or just praise time. It's all the time in how we live our lives. That is true worship. And so Bryn is wrapping up, and I think I see a P, I see an R, an A, an I. Can you guys see this? An S and an E. Do you guys know what that spells out? That spells praise. And so Bryn is going to remember this week to worship God and to praise Him. Where are you going to put that sign out at?
I think I'll put it on my bedroom door so I see it every time I come in and out of my bedroom.
Oh, high five. That's so awesome. Can you guys high five me? Boom. Okay, so we're going to go over to our last spot for our last big idea. Okay, so we're on our second week of the road trip. Last week, we learned to obey God by putting Him first. And I know you guys did that, and that's so awesome. And Bryn and I have started in Pennsylvania, if you can see here, and we're traveling down. We need some sun. It is raining here today. We need some sun. So we're gonna head on down to our awesome state of Florida, and let's find out what our big idea is. Awesome. It is we obey God by worshiping God. And so just like we talked about, when we are honoring Him with the Sabbath and we honor Him by using His name in great ways, of course you can say God's name, of course you can praise Him, but let's be careful about how we use His name. You guys are so amazing. We are so thankful that you joined us again for our second week of CWC Kids at Home. We cannot wait to do it again next week.